Hi, this is Steve Davis over at Total Wealth Academy, and this is Misconception Monday. The misconception today is that investors are greedy. To succeed in life, make a lot of money, you gotta be greedy. I'm gonna tell you, I was raised where they said, and this is, I believe, a quote from a religious book, it's harder for a rich person to get into heaven than it is for a camel to get through the eye of a needle. Well, when I heard that as a kid, I'm thinking of a little needle. Whoa, a camel can't get through the eye of a needle? That must be tough. Well, if you do the research, the eye of a needle is a 6-foot tall door in the Middle East. The camel has to duck to get through the door. It's really not quite as hard as it sounds. I was also taught through TV, if you remember back in the 70s, 80s, all rich people were bad. They painted this picture of rich people as if they were all bad and all mean and all greedy. Well, when I was around 8, I ran away from home. Why? I couldn't tell you. I think it was because they told me I couldn't date this little girl. I was too young, and it just made me furious, so I ran away from home and ended up at a Ferrari convention at a major hotel that was just a few miles from my home. And when I got there, I was so excited because I love cars, always have, and I started walking around. This lady figured out that I'd run away so quick, it was ridiculous. And she ended up getting me a little turkey sandwich and a bag of chips and a Coca-Cola. She let me sit in her Ferrari, rev the engine, and after a couple hours, she looked at me and she goes, "You do know you have to go home now, right?" Which I did. But what it woke me up to was that I had been lied to about rich people. She was extremely wealthy. She was kind. She took care of me. She got me to go back home. And I realized at that point that all the impressions that I had gotten about wealthy people were wrong. Then, as I grew older and I started getting into real estate, I noticed that every person that I was buying, and this was primarily commercial property when I got into apartments, was super nice, super kind. They were accommodating. They were pleasant to deal with. And it began to dawn on me that that is what I had to be if I was going to be successful as well. Don't get me wrong. There are certain parts of greed that are okay, like wanting to do well for your family, wanting to grow your business, wanting to make a profit. But when people refer to greedy, what I'm referring to is when they'll do anything to make a buck, even if it's illegal, unscrupulous, or being evil and bad. That's what I'm saying. They're not. When you come to Total Wealth Academy, you're going to meet dozens of millionaires, and you're going to find out that they're the kindest, most principally centered people you will ever meet, because you don't make money in this system if you're not a kind, professional person. So, if you're afraid of dealing with wealthy people because you think they're greedy, you've got a misconception, and it's not your fault. Just like I described, I got it from referral past experience, other people telling me, the television and things like that. It's not your fault if you feel that way, but you better overcome it, because one of these days you could be a multimillionaire, and I don't want you thinking bad about yourself. So, that is Misconception Monday. Thanks for watching.